I'm calling out from Scotland. Calling out from Scotland's world. If you wanna be free, you better listen to me. You got to learn how to see in your fantasy. I'm calling up from Scotland. Yeah, we're gonna start in about a minute. Talking about some NCAA baseball, and mostly some NCAA baseball. So this will be fun for me. Yes. Have you gotten a chance to read through the Jacksonville section? Just look into it. It's gonna break you. Because it's gonna be one of the first teams we talk about. Because it is the NCAA Baseball Extravaganza. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a Tuesday special of Goal to Go. My name is Ben. Alongside me is uninitiated, heathen, the man with the Plan 360, because he has not been fully indoctrinated into the religion that is college baseball, and it soon will be. I may or may not have talked a little bit too much shit this year, and then Nebraska ended up winning the Big Ten, so that was a good move. They weren't even projected to be in the top 6. Just, sometimes you just gotta shut up. Anyway, have you finally looked at Jacksonville? Because before we start this whole thing, we gotta talk about the way this tournament works. Once you've said you've looked at that, we can talk about how this really works. For those of you who aren't aware of the format of the tournament, because it's a little weird. If you're not fully, let me just open up the bracket for those. And then there we go. Now we can see the bracket. Righty, people. This is the bracket for the NCAA Baseball Championship. How? Oh, yeah. Yes! I'm gonna get into them later. We gotta talk first about... Steeler fan, I implore you, download my thing and go to Jacksonville so you can blow your mind. Yeah, so before we do any of that, though, I think it's important for those of you who are not necessarily college baseball fans, the ones who need to be. Also, I need to find a way to get this to move so that people could see the chats. Whatever. Let's explain the format, and by let's, I mean let me. We begin with the simple regional. It's a 4-team double elimination tournament. And, in that tournament, you gotta win to stay alive, but you don't lose and get out. So the 1 plays the 4, the 2 plays the 3. Then, yada 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 until you get to the end. Winner of the regional moves on to this thing called the super regional, which is cooler than the regional because it's got super in front of it. It's got to be cooler. Now, the winner of 2 regionals. You see this regional right here? You can't see my cursor. You can't see my cursor for some reason. Who cares? Okay, so take a look at the top left corner. You see Arkansas, and you see Louisiana Tech. Well, those two regionals are paired up with each other, and the winner of both of those regionals will play each other in a super regional. And that super regional is a best 2 out of 3 series, and the winner of that best 2 out of 3 series moves on to the College World Series in Omaha, Nebraska. Heaven on earth. If you take out the lead poisoning, which I didn't know about. Thanks, bro. I've been to Omaha. What the hell? I didn't know there was so much lead. But yeah, and then the College World Series is a double elimination tournament. And then, when you get to the finals, it's a best 2 out of 3 finals, winner take all. But who gets to host those regionals? Well, as you can see, you got these 16 teams right here. 15 of them are hosting, 16 would have been too logical, I'll explain in a moment. These are all seeded teams. These are the 16 best teams in the country. Okay, you could have easily gone with... No, not Omaha. Oma PB. Anyway, off of that, let's talk about each one of these teams. I'm going to give y'all a rundown of every single one of these teams, give y'all my thoughts on them. You guys in the chat already know about the play of Jacksonville, but we're not going to start with Jacksonville. We're going to start with Arkansas. Actually, we're not going to start with Arkansas at all. We're going to start with the top 50 RPI teams that missed. Now, if you don't know what RPI stands for, you're in the same boat that I am. But it's some sort of, rating system that's supposed to tell you how good teams are. Well, 5 of those teams didn't make the cut. 5 of those teams in the top 50 didn't make the 64-team tournament. They are Georgia, who finished 41st, Baylor, who finished 43rd, Ball State finished 48th, 49th finish was USC Upstate out of Spartanburg, South Carolina, and then Pitt at 50. Now, here's the thing. If you like the college basketball tournament, you may have heard of the bid stealers. And there were some bid stealers in this year's tournament. So, this year I can pretty much name you 4 bid stealers. Teams that won their conference tournaments that really shouldn't have, and thus required an at-large team to get in. Heck, you could even make the argument for 5, but Duke was going to get in. Anyway, the first bid stealer that I'm really going to say was Rider. Rider won the MAAC over Fairfield. Fairfield, by the way, this year has been insane. So let's talk about Fairfield real quick. For those of you, by the way, if you're in the Discord server, I posted a document that I'm using throughout this. It's got all 64 teams, got some information on each one of them. And Fairfield comes in as the hell are you team of the tournament. Every tournament's got a crazy team. Fairfield is the most crazy ever. They're 37-3. That's the best record in Division I baseball history. They didn't win their conference. They didn't win their conference tournament. They lost 2 games in their double elimination conference tournament to Rider, who was 57th in the RPI. Oh, by the way, Fairfield is number 2 in the RPI. The only team better than them is Arkansas. You may be asking, why aren't they hosting a regional? Because their strength of schedule is 131 out of 293. They played a dog shit team. They played a dog shit schedule. So that's what happened. They were regular season champs. They were runners-up in the tournament. No out-of-conference game. They started the year 28-0. They have the best team ERA of any team in this tournament. 2.75. Their walks and hits per innings pitched, or whip, is 1.03. That's also better than any other team. They have a 305 team batting average, which is 15th in the country. That's 7th in the tournament. Of all tournament teams, that's 7th overall. Their catcher's batting average, Mike Caruso, is a guy to watch out for because he's got a 4.14 batting average, which is 9th in the country. This is a team that's really interesting. They're the 3 seed in the Austin Regional, hosted by Texas. So, Rider, let's talk about them. Let's talk about the team that stole a bid. Because Rider really did steal a bid from someone that probably better deserved it. Rider finished 6th in the MAC. In the MAAC. MAAC, MAC, whatever. Just know this. The Mid-America Conference does not have a conference tournament, and I'll be talking about Central Michigan, the winner of that conference, in a second. And by a second, I mean a few minutes. This stream's going to be all over the place. 64 teams is a lot. So Rider is on a 5-game winning streak right now. Those 5 wins, I think, all came in the tournament. They went undefeated in their conference tournament. Whereas when it came down to Fairfield, Fairfield lost to first Canisius and then Rider. So Rider managed to hit, again, remember, Fairfield had the best team ERA of any pitching staff in the country. Rider took them for 5 homers. 5 home runs off of them. That's insane. It's more insane when you realize that's more than 20% of the home runs they hit all year. They came into that game having hit 14. They've now hit 19 home runs. It's the worst in the tournament. Second worst is Jacksonville. We'll get to them. Again, they're an absolute monstrosity, and the reason why I love auto bids. But anyway, you want to look at Rider. Their team batting average is a .253. It's 219th in the country, 5th worst in the tournament. They have the fewest by any tournament team in terms of hits, 292. That's 262nd. You have 209 runs scored. That's tied for 242nd. That's the worst of any tournament team. They also had the fewest home runs, tied for 259th. But their RPI was 57th, and their strength of schedule was 95th. So, not bad. Not bad at all, but they were not getting in if they didn't win their tournament. And I guarantee you that half of the reason they did... In fact, I can check this real quick. Excuse me for 2 seconds. I gotta check because you can... There's a place where I can look at their RPI jumping. Yeah, okay, so Rider's RPI was, on Sunday was 58th. The week prior was, hold on. The week prior, from them being 58th, they were 94th. They jumped up 30-something in a week. That's insane. That does not happen normally. So, yeah. That's your first major bid stealer. Your second major bid stealer was definitely... where are you? Where are you, you little poopy butt? Presbyterian. Presbyterian won the Big South tournament. They finished 4th in the Big South. This is their first ever NCAA tournament appearance, so good for them. They finished 22-21. Their RPI was 132. Their strength of schedule was 201. They finished on a 4-game win streak. Their team ERA is a 6.10. That's 214th in the country and the 3rd worst in the tournament. By far. Now, you may be asking, so who the hell should have made it in? Well, they did, first of all, because again, excuse me for 2 seconds. I gotta exit out of Discord real quick because it is causing my stream to lag. Y'all still there? Y'all still there? Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me? Okay, good. It is very laggy. What happened was basically my home Wi-Fi, I'm not in my normal spot, is so laggy. It's super laggy. So I had to cut a lot of things down. Anyway, let's get back to this. Okay, good. Just making sure everyone's still there and mostly that I'm still here. So anyway, let's get to the fact that, could you hear about me complaining that Presbyterian had a terrible ERA? Alright. Also, this thing is clearly lagging behind harder than normal. Again, crappy Wi-Fi. Not my fault. Yeah. So, who should have gotten in? Campbell gets in as the Big South regular season champions. They were the tournament runners-up. Their RPI was 38th. They were 35-16. They had the 87th strength of schedule. Their team batting average was great. 307, that's 13th in the country, that's 6th in the tournament. You want to look at some guys. Zach Nito, he's an infielder. His batting average is a 414. To put that into perspective, that's like 10th in the country. That's 10th in the country. It's insane. There's also Waldy Arias. He is an infielder, and he's been hit by a pitch 26 times. That's tied for the NCAA lead. That's a random little thingy. But yeah, Campbell's been a decent team. From what I'm going to say this, I haven't watched mid-majors. The baseball that I have watched came in the SEC. So when I talk about ACC teams, yeah, hey, some guys are just good at getting free bases. But yeah. Anyway, so that's the second bid stealer. Who was the third bid stealer? Who was the one that stole the bid? It's South Florida. South Florida. They were the AAC tournament champions. They finished 6th in the American. They were predicted to finish last. They went on this crazy run through the tournament and knocked off UCF actually in the finals, I think. And UCF didn't even get in. They also went on a crazy run during the tournament. They stole a bid because, frankly, East Carolina should have been the only team to get in. South Florida's RPI was 105. Their strength of schedule was 71, but that's okay. They were 28-27. That's including when they went into all their tournament games. So they came into the championship game with a 500 record, and they bullshit their way in because baseball is the greatest, dumbest sport in the history of the world. So yeah, let's talk about East Carolina, though. Why? Because they're hosting the Greenville Regional. They're the 13th overall seed. They won the AAC regular season title. They have a 15 overall RPI, 52nd hardest strength of schedule. You want to look at a guy, you want to look at Connor Norby. His batting average was a 424. That's 7th in the country. He leads the country in hits, 97. Unless, okay, I gotta be honest with you, the NCAA website updated every single thingy today. Which means some of my stats might be a little off. Blame the NCAA for all your problems. Luckily, that stat is still the same because he didn't play on that day. Anyway, .424 BA, 97 hits. He's got 157 total bases. That's most in the country. He's hit 15 doubles. He's got 15 home runs. He's got 15 stolen bases. The guy likes the number 15. What can I say? You want to talk about their team batting average? It's a .302. That's 21st in the country, 8th in the tournament. Then, you want to know what? They also happen to have the guy with the most sacrifice bunts of any player in this tournament. Ryder Giles has 15, second most in the nation. So that's the thing. And so again, we've got those. But the ultimate bid stealer, the one that should not be here, is Jacksonville. Now, before we get into Jacksonville, let me talk about the team whose bid they didn't swipe it, because they did get in. It's Liberty. Liberty is just damn good this year. 39-14, 36 in the RPI, 163rd strength of schedule. Don't blame them for playing in the A-Sun. They won the North Division of the A-Sun. I don't know why they split it into divisions. Frankly, that seems pointless for a 9-team conference. They were regular season champions. Yes, Liberty, ugh, but their baseball team's damn good. They were tournament runners-up. You gotta look at Trevor DeLate as a guy to watch during this tournament. Now, Liberty, by the way, is a 3 seed in the Knoxville Regional. I forgot to mention everything about that. So let me get back to one quick little bit. South Florida is the 4 in the Gainesville Regional. Ryder is the 4 in the Fayetteville Regional. You have Fairfield is the 3 in the Austin Regional. Of course, ECU is hosting their regional, so they're number 1 overall, which would be true of every team, but we'll get to the one stupid exception. You've got Presbyterian. They're the 4th seed in their regional, and that regional is, if I can find it, the Nashville Regional, hosted by Vandy. So yeah, back to Liberty. Unfortunate statements we have to say here. They are the 3 seed in Knoxville. Trevor DeLate, their pitcher. He's 11-1. That's his record. 1.98 ERA in 100 innings. Flat. 15 appearances, 22 earned runs. He's got the best record of any pitcher with 11 victories. Better than Kumar Rockner, who's 11-3. But, we gotta talk about the team that stole the bid. Jacksonville, who went 16-32. They're the 11 seed in the Columbia Regional. That's hosted by South Carolina. It's a weird regional. We'll talk about it in 2 seconds. So, Jacksonville was 16-32. They have the 209th RPI, again, out of 293 teams, and 86th hardest schedule. So at least they have that going for them. They went 1-15 in April. Yeah, 1-15. That's insanely bad. I'll get to what makes that weirder in a second. Their conference record was 3-15. All of those wins came in a row. A win on May 1st against Stetson, a win on May 2nd against Stetson, and a win on May 7th against Florida Gulf Coast. They finished dead last. They finished 9th in the conference, not 8th like I said. They finished dead last by 3 wins. They went 3-15. I hate you. The Dolphins, which is not making this joke any less funny. Jacksonville Dolphins. Yeah. They finished 9th in the conference, so 3-15. The second worst team was North Alabama with a 6-15 record. They finished 4th in the A-Sun South Division. They were 0-5 against Q4 teams. To explain what that means, basically, these are teams with an RPI of 150, of below 150, between 151 and 293. They couldn't beat any of those teams. 4 losses against Miami of Ohio and a loss to the Citadel. That's not good, guys. But you want to know something crazy? You know who their only win in April was against? It was against number 22 Florida State. The only win they managed in April was against number 2. Not in that regional. Then again, they also beat number 13 Florida 10-9 on March 12th. This is a team comes in 3-15. They go 5-1 in the ASUN tournament. They're on a 4-game win streak. Now, of course, their team ERA is a 6.29. That is 229th and the second worst in the tournament. Their team on base percentage is .334. That is 255th and the worst in the tournament. How? How are you doing this? I ask this question doubly because how are you doing this internet? Seriously, my internet is so crappy here. Oh my god. But that's whatever. Yeah, Jacksonville made the tournament with a 16-32 record. Worst team I've seen. Yet they're not the worst RPI team. 2 teams were worse than them in that regard. Those 2 teams are Norfolk State and Southern. We're going to go in order from best to worst between the 2 of them. Starting with the 4 seed in the Greenville Regional, Norfolk State. 25-26 record, 259th in the RPI, 281st hardest schedule. It's their first appearance ever. Hooray! They won the MEAC Northern Division, they won the regular season title, and they won the tournament. If you're wondering why they had such a crappy record, out of conference games. They're on a 5-game win streak. Now, you want to talk about something, though, that ain't going to help you? How about Justin Walton, their pitcher? He is tied for 3rd for most batters hit. He's hit 19 batters. That's the most by any pitcher in this tournament. Hopefully he doesn't do that again. Auto bids are great, but yeah, Norfolk State, hey. But of course, the worst team is Southern. Thankfully, the second worst team out of the city of Baton Rouge, next to, the worst team out of the city of Baton Rouge, let's be honest. Southern comes in with a 20-28 record. They're coming into the Austin Regional in Texas. 20-28. They're 265th in the RPI. 286th hardest schedule. One of the easiest schedules in the entire nation. And you finish with a losing record. Okay. But, should be noted, they were 5th in the SWAC. They finished 5th in the SWAC. 3rd in the West Division, but they were SWAC tournament champs. When they played the tournament championship, Jackson State came in 27-0 in the conference. Jackson State finished 27-1 in the conference. Yep, Southern won the game, and made the tournament. They're on a 4-game win streak. Their .251 team batting average is 224th. It's the 4th worst in the tournament. Oh. Their 6.71 team ERA is 253rd in the country and worst in the tournament. Crap. Oh well, at least their team whip is a 171, which is 234th and also the worst. You know, maybe we just shouldn't do things like that. Yeah. That's not good at all. But you know what? They're there. So that's cool. Yeah. I think it's time we talk about Arizona State for 2 seconds, because frankly, I couldn't find anything that interesting on them because I don't keep up with Pac-12 baseball because the games are on too late. Come on, guys, just play games earlier. I'm kidding, it's because I don't care. I'm focused more on Southeastern Conference baseball and occasionally what else happens in the rest of my state. So let's get Arizona State out of the way. Who's Arizona State? They're the 2 seed in the Ruston Regional. They're 32-20. They're 40th in the RPI. They're 36th in strength of schedule. They finished 5th in the Pac-12, and they're on a 3-game losing streak. Oh. Well, that's not good. Could it be worse? You could always finish 6th. And who would finish 6th in the Pac-12? Why, none other than Oregon State. They were 34-22, but their RPI was 22nd, and their strength of schedule was 15th. Now, if you want to know something about their team, you want to know about pitcher Jake Mulholland. He's got 13 saves. That's tied for 2nd in the nation, and it's tied. There's a 4-way tie. There are 4 guys in this tournament who each have 13 saves. He's one of them. So, yeah. Oregon State is the 2 seed in the Fort Worth Regional. So now it's time for me to do this thing called Be Logical. For the rest of this, we're just going to be going down the bracket the way I set it up. So you'll see, and we'll talk about each team, and then once we've talked about each team, I'll make my predictions, and they will probably be staggeringly wrong. The Fayetteville, Arkansas Regional. Number 1. Arkansas. Yes. I know you're getting lost, so right now we're going to make this easier to follow, and yes, I will go over the other teams just so that we can keep with the flow. So the 1 seed in this entire tournament is Arkansas. They're number 1 in the RPI. They're 46-10, and they had the hardest schedule of any team. They're, really good, if you couldn't tell. This is a team that won both the SEC regular season, they won the SEC West, the SEC regular season, and the SEC tournament. That's only ever happened it's only ever happened twice before that a team won both the SEC regular season and the tournament, in the same year. And, yeah. Both of those teams won the College World Series. Yeah. 2009 LSU was the first to do it, then 2019 Vandy did it. So watch out for them. They're also on an 8-game win streak. And trust me, when they need something going, they need to shut a team down. They call the cops, and his name is Kevin Kopps. He is their pitcher. He's got an ERA of .71. I'm not kidding with you. This guy has an ERA of 0.71. He's got 5 earned runs on 63 1/3 innings pitched. 27 appearances. He's 10-0. He's got a 0.78 whip. That's 3rd in the nation. Jeez. What else could they have? How about infielder Robert Moore, who has 8 sacrifice flies? It's just tied for 2nd in the nation, tied for 1st in the tournament. Don't question why I said that. That was just a thing. Arkansas is dangerous. Arkansas is deadly. They didn't lose an SEC series this year, and you have to understand how insane that is. The SEC is the hardest conference in baseball. They didn't lose it. They went undefeated in series. They were 10-0 in series. That's almost impossible to do. Who has the most total? I was about to look that up on here. Excuse me one second. Yeah, I know what you meant. It's pretty obvious. Excuse me. Eyes leader. I think he plays for San Diego State, actually. Yep, Brian Leonhardt of San Diego State. He's got 9 sack flies, and then there's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7-way tie for second. But let's talk about the next team, the 2 seed in the Fayetteville Regional, Nebraska. This is a team that was not even picked to finish in the top 6 of the Big Ten, and they just went up and won the whole thing. There was no tournament for the Big Ten this year, so they made the auto bid as regular season champs. They didn't play any out-of-conference games. They have a 42 RPI. They had the 149th hardest schedule, which is, that's about middle of the pack. I really don't know anything about this team at all, and I couldn't find that much because I wasn't looking that hard. Let's be honest. I don't care about Big Ten baseball, and it's not going to matter much because Arkansas is weird. Interesting little tidbit, though. Arkansas's current head coach led Nebraska to the College World Series in 2000 and 2001. So that'd be an interesting little storyline if they even play each other, because they theoretically could not. Arkansas could theoretically get eliminated in the first rounds in two games. You'll have to beat Arkansas first to prove that. But let's move on from Nebraska to Northeastern. Northeastern. This is actually kind of crazy. This entire regional is made up of auto bids. Northeastern, 36-10, 33rd in the RPI, 192nd strength of schedule because the CAA isn't exactly a baseball conference powerhouse. But they won the North Division, they won the regular season, they won the tournament. They are on a 3-game win streak. They got a .299 team batting average. That's 24th in the nation, 10th in the tournament. Their team ERA is 3rd overall, .299. Their team whip is also 3rd. It's a 1.11. They have 30 stolen bases, by the way. That's best of any team in this tournament. So they're a little bit of a nightmare on the base paths, and Nebraska's going to really have to watch out for them. If you want to look for some guy, how about Jared Dupere? He's an outfielder, and he's slugging .798. He's 3rd in the nation in slugging, 2nd in the tourney. .798. Ooh, you better watch your bats. Because, he might just break all of them hitting dingers or something. I don't know. Except he doesn't hit dingers. He just slugs. And then you got the 4th team. New Jersey Institute of Technology, NJIT. It's their first ever appearance, and it's marred in stupidity. Ladies and gentlemen, the tragic story of how Stony Brook didn't make the tournament and NJIT did. So NJIT goes undefeated in the... So first of all, NJIT was 2nd in the AAC. They were 2nd in Division B. If you don't know, because I didn't know this, the America East Conference has a Division A and a Division B. I don't know why. Don't do divisions, or... I don't get it. It's so arbitrary. Anyway. They were undefeated in the tournament. In the championship game, rain came in and canceled it. It was 1-0. Stony Brook led in the top of the 3rd, and they decided, instead of giving it to the regular season champion, Stony Brook, to give it to NJIT because they were undefeated in the tournament. What? What? None of this makes sense to me. But I'll tell you this. This is a hot team. The Highlanders, whoo, baby. 9-game win streak, man. Huh. Problem. They're 117th in the RPI, and they're 181st strength of schedule. So they're going to die. Yes, precisely. With this much latency at this point, by the way, I'm probably not going to go live on Thursday, just because I don't want to try and deal with this crap again. Plus, this is going to suffice. Hooray. Let's move to the Ruston Regional. Ruston is home to Louisiana Tech, the 16 in this entire tournament. Louisiana Tech, they're the 1 seed in their regional. 40-18 overall, 19 in the RPI, 43rd strength of schedule, pretty good. They were second in the Okay, everyone is about to hate me for what I'm about to do. I call the Conference USA the CUSA because it's shorter and I don't have to say so many letters. They were second in the CUSA. They won the West Division. They were tournament runners-up. Their team batting average is 5th in the tournament, 9th overall. They had a .309 team batting average. Their ERA is a .479 for their team. That's 108th in the country. It's the worst of any regional host or national seed. Their team whip is also the worst of any host or national seed. It's a 1.44, which is about average from what I've seen, around the 1.4 or 1.5 margin for college. So I guess it's not that bad, but it's 105th. Yeah. Their infielder, Hunter Wells, he's actually tied for second in hits. He's got 89 hits on the season. You got Taylor Young, he's also an infielder. He's got 74 runs on the season. That's second most. And then you have Steele Netterville. It's a name I'm not even I couldn't make this name up if I tried. Steele Netterville. He has also got 8 sacrifice flies. He's tied for second in the nation. He's tied for first in the tournament. Then you got NC State. Now, NC State was a pretty decent team this year. Yeah. They were 30-17, 35 in the RPI, 32 strength of schedule. They were third in the ACC, second in the Atlantic Division, and they were ACC tournament runners-up. Yeah, not much to say about them because I didn't watch them at all, and there's really nothing else to say about them because boring. If you can't tell, I'm just ambivalent towards the Pac-12 and the ACC and the Big Ten and the Big 12. This is a clear and obvious distinction I am making, that there's only one power conference in baseball, and its name is the SEC. And speaking of that power conference, you got Alabama. They're 31-24. They're 31st in the RPI. They had the second hardest schedule of any team in the entire country. 10th in the SEC. They were 10th in the SEC and they made it. 5th in the West Division. Note. I'm actually going to pull that up real quick. Yeah, hold on. America East Division B. No, Stony Brook actually, yeah, because Stony Brook won that division, and then you had NJIT in it, and then you had Binghamton, who had a losing record in the conference in it. And then you had UMBC, who also had a losing record. Could be worse. Division A was terrible. Division A was Albany with 20-18 record, and then Maine, UMass Lowell, and Hartford, who all had losing records. So Division B was better than Division A, but that ain't saying much. Anyway, Alabama, 10th in the SEC, 5th in the West Division, and let me UMass Lowell. Lowell. Lowell, but I don't pronounce the W that much. I do a very light one. It's a UMass Lowell. So, okay, I didn't think of that. Stop making me self-conscious about the way I pronounce Northeastern names. Anyway, Alabama was a decent-ish team, I guess, but we beat them twice, so how good can they really be? Like, let's be honest here. If LSU can beat them twice, how good can you really be? Then Ryder, that's the fourth in that thing we've already talked about. Yeah, UMass Lowell, as in Lowell, Massachusetts. You know, the city where that whole factory thingy started. Anyway, let's move on to the Lubbock Regional. That's the 8th-seeded regional, home for Texas Tech. They are 36-15, 10th in the RPI, 14th strength of schedule. They finished 3rd in the Big 12. Their infielder, Jace Jung, Jung, he's tied for 3rd in the nation with 65 RBIs. So he's a guy to watch out for. He can get runners in. And if they're good enough to be the 8th seed, who knows? But who they got in their regional? I'll tell you that. Number 2, UCLA. They're 35-18, 21st in the RPI. So damn near close to getting one of those seeds. They finished 4th in the Pac-12. They're on a 4-game win streak. You got a guy, JT Schwartz. He's batting over 400. He's got a batting average of 405. There aren't that many guys that can say that. There's like 20-something in the country that can say that. You also got pitcher Michael Townsend. Now, why is he important? He happens to be tied for the lead in appearances in the nation, along with another Michael at Washington State. He's got 34 appearances on 33 innings pitched. Why do you even come into games, bro? I think he's like that specialist just to get the lefty out or something. Hilarious. And now we've come to the 3 seed in the Lubbock Regional. North Carolina, the team I'm most ambivalent to, because seriously, I don't get them, and I don't know anything about them, and I've chosen not to know anything about them, because I want to be surprised. They're 27-25. I don't know how the hell they got in. Oh, I get it. They were 47th in the RPI, and they had the 7th hardest schedule in the nation. 6th in... Hold on a minute. Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me? Because something just pooped out with my freaking computer. Also, I didn't look at that. My computer did a weird... Okay, my computer just did a really weird thing. So that's fun. I don't know what his longest outing of the season is because I didn't have a chance to look into that, lol. Okay. Yeah, so North Carolina, 27-25, 47th in the RPI, 7th hardest schedule in the nation, 6th in the ACC, 3rd in the Coastal Division. Yeah, that's all I care about. Y'all can please look that up for me, by the way. What's his longest outing? His name is in the document that's in the freaking thing. Y'all have it. This is what I tasked you guys with. You were supposed to help me. This was supposed to be collaborative coolness. Speaking of teams that tend to be collaborative, what about the U.S. Army? And Army's baseball team, the 4th seed in the Lubbock Regional, went 28-23. They finished with the 119th RPI, 182nd hardest schedule, but it's their 3rd straight Patriot League title. It's their 10th overall. They finished 2nd in the Patriot League, but they won the North Division. By the way, the Patriot League has a whole 6 baseball teams, so I don't even get the point of having divisions. What was the point of having divisions? Seriously, what was the point of that? Also, they lost their last game. They lost their last game and won the tournament because the championship series was a best of 3 and they played all 3 games. I don't get it either. Or no, wait, I'm sorry, I'm thinking wrong. The place I got that information from is stupid, I think, because they won their last game. I'm dumb. Speaking of things that are dumb, this transition. Yeah. Stanford is hosting a regional. They're the number 9 seed overall, and they went 33-14. They are 13th in the RPI, 34th hardest schedule. They finished 3rd in the Pac-12. You want to know another guy with 13 saves? Look out for Zach Grech, or Grech. He's got 13 saves. Damn good. Damn good. Then you get the 2 seed. You got UC Irvine. 40-16, 31st in the RPI, 109th strength of schedule. They were the Big West regular season champions. Despite what the NCAA's website decided to say, there is no Big West tournament. There hasn't been one in a long time. You idiots putting that on your website is sad. Just like how you said there was a Norfolk Regional in 2010 when it was Norwich. Or Norwich. Actually, Steeler fan, you need to correct me on this. Norwich, Connecticut, do they pronounce the W or is it pronounced like the British version? Just like the paper. We wait, apparently. Ah, man. While I wait for that, I'll just talk about the fact that the Big West regular season champs are on a 6-game win streak. And that, they have the nation's leader in triples. Outfielder Nathan Church has 8 triples on the year. So, you need a guy to stretch them for you. There's your man. That was terrible. And then you got Nevada. Now, Nevada, they're 25-18, 37th. 37th in the RPI, 50th strength of schedule. They're on a 4-game win streak. This is their first appearance since 2000. So, big one for them. Now, this is a team that had some history made with them. On May 11th, third baseman Tyler Bassetti set an NCAA record when he homered in his 9th consecutive game. Reminder, Don Mattingly's record for the majors is 8. First at-bat of the game, and he just homers. And he ain't even the best batter on the team, by the way. This is a team with a 319 batting average. That's 5th in the nation, 3rd in the tournament. But you got to look at Dylan Shroom. He's their first baseman. He's got a 470 batting average. That's best in the nation. His slugging is 966. Okay, that's pretty good. Second place for slugging is 827. So he's actually murdering the ball. Yeah. This dude is a monster, and I genuinely am excited to see what that game looks like. Because that'll be really interesting. Because if this dude can hit off of UC Irvine's pitching, it might be a long night for UC Irvine. But who knows? And then we got the final one. North Dakota State, for the first time since 2014, they're headed to the NCAA baseball tournament. They went 41-17. It's the most wins in program history in the regular season. They were 96th in the RPI. 268th hardest schedule, though, so not exactly the worst. They finished 2nd in the Summit League behind Oral Roberts, a team that never did anything at any point to me or my, baseball team this year at all. Never happened. Nope, never happened. They didn't beat us 22-7 at home. Nope, they never did that. That never happened at all. Anyway, that wasn't North Dakota State, because North Dakota State beat those sumbitches. Dance your problems away. Oh, that's right, you can't. Sorry, I'm not petty against the team that beat the crap out of us. Yeah, I'm not petty at all. Anyway, to the Tucson Regional, home of Arizona. They were 40-15, 9th in the RPI, but 5th in this tournament. And 23rd hardest schedule. They were the Pac-12 regular season champs. The Pac-12 does not have a tournament at all. Now their 325 team batting average was the best of any Power 5 team, the best of any regional host team, and it's the second best in the tournament. They had the most hits in the nation with 640. They scored the second most runs in the nation, 477. They had the second highest team on base percentage, 427. That's second in the country. By the way, there is a team in the tournament that has more. No regional seed or host has a better one of those two. Then you got Oklahoma State. They're second. They went 35-17-1. They had a game that ended tied because of rain. Yup. They were 14th, by the way, in the RPI. And they didn't get a national seed. Pretty insane. 6th hardest strength of schedule. 4th in the Big 12. They were the tournament runners-up. And they have a third baseman. And his name is Christian Encarnacion Strand. Yeah, that's a long name. I wonder how they fit that on the back of his jersey. I bet they don't even use last names on the back of their jerseys, don't they? That would make it more convenient. Anyway, he's second in the country with 66 RBIs. Then, you got the third team in this regional, and it's a team that was one of the last 4 teams in. UCSB, UC Santa Barbara, 39-18, 51st in the RPI, 118th strength of schedule. Second in the Big West, they're on an 8-game winning streak, so you thought UC Irvine was hot. The Gauchos are scorching, and they're a damn good team. This is a team that not too long ago made the College World Series as a 3 seed in their regional, and hey, wait a minute. They're a 3 seed in their regional now. Oh, y'all better watch out, because, I think somebody wants back at the Omaha. And not only that, but, they got a pitcher named Michael Mcgreevy. His strikes per walk is 10.90. That's second in the nation. That's best in the tournament. He's one of only 2 guys with a K per BB over 10. That's really good. Then you finally got Grand Canyon. And, I'm making a joke because they've done this before and they didn't win. Fresno State's only made it as a 4 seed, I think, once in the history of the tournament, and that ended up with them winning a national championship. That's like one of the greatest Cinderella stories, by the way. That's the team with the most losses to ever make the national to win the national championship. They were a team that basically had to win the WAC tournament to make it into the NCAAs. Finished it, then were seeded 4th in their regional and won the damn College World Series. Not only that, they murdered Georgia in the last game. They won it by like 9 runs. Absolutely destroyed them. Man, one of the Bulldogs had to win that night. It was the right one. Anyway, Grand Canyon made the tournament for the first time. Stonks. They went 39-19-1. They finished 93rd in the RPI. They had the 200th hardest schedule. They were the regular season co-champs, along with Cal Baptist, a team that was ineligible for the NCAA tournament due to D2 transition period. They were the WAC tournament champions. They're on a 3-game win streak. Their pitcher, Pearson Ole. It was Georgia. They could have just, pleaded that it was actually a suicide because the Georgians choked. Anyway, Pearson Ole, he's got 7 complete games this year. That's tied for most. He's had 14 starts, 15 appearances. He's had 96.1 innings pitched and a 2.36 ERA, so not doing too bad for himself. So yeah, now on to the Oxford Regional. Ole Miss, the host on that one, 41-19. They're 12th seed, by the way. 12th in the RPI, 8th hardest schedule. They were 5th in the SEC, 3rd in the SEC West. Their pitcher, Taylor Broadway, is another one with 13 saves. This is a damn good team. You might remember a guy named John Rice Plumlee. I think he's playing on their baseball team. He was a quarterback. Don't ask what happened in 2019. Don't ask him about 2019. He only carved up LSU's defense that year. He was the only quarterback that actually made LSU's defense look mortal after we'd gone up 28 points on Ole Miss. So, wasn't really that bad. Yes. Yeah. So, Ole Miss is a damn good team. Very good. They once scored 8 runs on a team in just 1/3 of an inning. Maneri, pull the damn pitcher! Pull the pitcher! God! Dude, seriously, what the hell? He didn't pull the pitcher until he'd given up like 6 or 7 runs. Jesus. And then the first pitch of the bottom of the 9th inning. Bing! We done. We were leading by 8 runs, and we lost in 1/3 of an inning. Ah! So yeah, but the second team in the regional is Southern Miss. Now, Southern Miss bid on and won the right to potentially host a regional. There were 4 teams that did that, and didn't make a regional. Pitt was out of the tournament somehow, and they bid on and would have hosted a regional had they made the tournament and been good enough. But Pitt, maybe you just shouldn't have gone 3-9 down the stretch. Just saying, would have really helped. Pitt and choking. I would say name a better combo, but the Falcons and choking. Now, Southern Miss is the Golden Eagles, so that joke doesn't work. They are a 37-19 team, 23rd in the RPI, 35th overall, 3rd in the CUSA, 2nd in the West Division. Damn good team from what I've seen. So yeah. Oh, they also won a game that ended at 3 a.m. That started at midnight and ended at 3 a.m. This is a game that was played in Ruston, by the way. So I'm talking local time. They just did that. Walked it off in 8, by the way, because run-ruling Western Kentucky is fun. You know what else is fun? Talking about Florida State. That's because I want to call it that because it takes me 3 seconds to say. How many times have you even heard the CUSA said, though? Nobody talks about it. It's the most bleh college football conference. Like, it exists, I guess. Anyway, so we've got Florida State. They're 30-22. That's like, hold on, what is that? Like, not including last year, that's like 40 straight seasons of 30-plus wins. It's insane how good this program's been. You watch CUSA college football? I need to ask you, why do you watch that? Why UTEP? Hold on, we need to answer this question. UTEP? Are you kidding me? Dude, you could watch better things in your life. Like, okay, literally anything else would be better. God, UTEP is... So I'm assuming you watch beIN Sports for that or something? Ah, man. He's on a delay, so... Huh. Yeah, so anyway, 5th in the ACC is the Florida State Seminoles. They were 45th in the RPI, 28th, hardest schedule. 5th in the ACC, 3rd in the Atlantic Division. Now, Matthew Nelson, he's tied for the home run lead with 22. He also has a 777 slugging. That's 5th in the nation. So the problem is that they can't bat for shit. They had a 245 team batting average. It's 249th in the country, 2nd worst in the tournament. It's the worst by a Power 5 team. And then finally, in the Oxford Regional, and by the way, I'm going to start running through this really fast, because it's at 1 hour 5, and we're like halfway through this. Southeast Missouri State, 30-20, 83rd RPI, 145th hardest strength schedule. They won the OVC regular season title and tournament title. That's all I could find that was interesting on them. Now we go to Vanderbilt, who is the host of the Nashville Regional, 4th overall seed, 40-15 team. I can talk about this team for a little bit. 40-15, 3rd RPI, 10th hardest strength of schedule. They were 4th in the SEC, 2nd in the SEC East. They're the defending national champions. Now, the last time they were in the tournament, they had this really dominant pitcher named Kumar Rocker, and he's back. This guy threw a no-hitter in the College World Series, and he's back. And he's huge. I don't remember how tall he is, but he's like 6 foot something. He's 11-3 this year. You got Jack Leiter, who's a freshman phenom. He's gonna be a top something. Kumar Rocker is supposed to be the top draft pick. Jack Leiter might be top 3. And this team has a 301 team batting average, 22nd in the country, 9th in the tournament. You have a 110 team whip. That's 2nd best in the country. Jack Leiter allows 3.90 hits per 9. That's 3rd in the country and best in the nation. This dude does not give up hits. Trust me. Although then again, who was the first team to take him deep? Go Tigers. So what if we were getting our asses kicked in that game? We took Jack Leiter deep before anybody else. That's a victory. Not like a 10-plus run loss game in which you lose your star pitcher for the whole season, but that's separate. You also got this guy named Enrique Bradfield. He's got 42 stolen bases, and that's more stolen bases than any other guy in the entire country. So, they're a threat. Oh, did I mention that Kumar Rocker and Jack Leiter are tied for 3rd with 135 strikeouts? I didn't? Well, now I have. They're lethal, and they're the team I think could be the 2nd best in this tournament. But of course, they have to win their regional, starting against Georgia Tech, 2nd in the ACC. They were Coastal Division champions, 29-23 overall, 46th in the RPI, 25th hardest schedule. Their 5.76 team ERA is 184th and the worst of any Power 5 team in this tournament. Okay, so they're boned. What about Indiana State, the most interesting team in this tournament, not named Jacksonville, who is a monstrosity to man? Indiana State is they were the 2nd place team in the Missouri Valley Conference. They're 30-19, 34th in the RPI, 65th overall. They're an at-large team. This is a team that was MVC tournament runners-up after losing in 11 innings. 11. They had 24 straight road games to start the season. They had 2 straight wins over Tennessee. They had 8 home games all year. 8. They have 10 wins over top 100 RPI teams. And their pitcher, Jeremy Guerrero, has the lowest walks and hits per innings pitched of any player. 0.76 whip. He's given up 13 walks and 58 hits in 93.1 innings. 93 in the 3rd innings. And then finally, 4th team in that regional is Presbyterian. Then you got the Greenville Regional. I've already mentioned them. And Mr. Ryder Giles and his sacrifice bunting prowess. 2nd place in that one, 2nd seed, is the Coosa regular season champs and East Division champs, Charlotte, who also could have hosted a regional had they not, lost the first 2 games of the tournament and bowed out early. Losers. 39-19 overall record. 29th in the RPI, 51st hardest schedule. Austin Knight, he's hitting .351. He leads the country with 29 doubles. Yeah, Charlotte's pretty good. Charlotte's a pretty damn good team. You know who else is pretty good? Maryland. Maybe. I don't know. I don't watch Big Ten baseball. I know that they're 28-16. I know that they're 60th in the RPI. They had the 123rd hardest schedule. They finished runners-up in the Big Ten. They never played an out-of-conference game, though, so I don't know what to expect from them. And finally, Norfolk State. But we already talked about them. And their guy who has to stop hitting batters. Then the Austin Regional. Now, Texas. They're second. They're the second-place team in this tournament. 42-15. 6th in the RPI, 21st strength of schedule. They're regular season champions of the Big 12. Their team ERA is 2.95. That's second best in the country. Their team whip is a 1.15. That's fourth best in the country. A reminder, top 2 pitching teams in the country, potentially, at least from an ERA perspective, they are in this bracket. But Arizona State is not one of those teams, and they're the second team in this bracket. And they are 32-20, 40 wins. They're 40th in the RPI. I can't believe I said that. 36th hardest strength schedule. They're on a 3-game losing streak. They were 5th in the Pac-12. We already mentioned them. I already mentioned Fairfield and their godlike everything, and I want them to win the whole thing. I'm kidding. I'm an LSU fan, and LSU is in this tournament. I want them to win everything. Finally, Southern. Southern is not going to win anything, but it's cool that they're here, I guess. But then, there's the Gainesville Regional. 15 seed Florida. They're the 1 seed in their region. 38-20 overall. 17th in the RPI. 13th hardest schedule. They were 6th in the SEC, 3rd in the East Division. And they're a good team. But LSU didn't play them this year, I think. Pretty damn sure of that. So I don't really know what to say about them. Other than they're pretty good, I guess. Pretty decent. Hey, speaking of a team that's pretty decent, but I don't know anything about them, Miami of Florida. 32-19 this year. 26th in the RPI, 30th hardest schedule, 4th in the ACC, 2nd in the Coastal Division. You want to find another guy with a bunch of saves, you'll find Carson Palmquist. He's got 13 of them. Like I said, I think he's the final one of the 4. Then you have South Alabama. They are the 3rd seed in this regional. They are the Sun Belt Conference champions, both of the regular season and the tournament. They went 33-20. They were 58th overall, 105th hardest schedule. They're on a 5-game win streak, man. Woo! That was terrible. Oh, speaking of terrible, their batting average is a .242. It's the worst of any tournament team and 257th in the country. And their on-base percentage is second worst of any team in the country. And it's a .346 on-base percentage, 214th in the country, second worst of any tournament team. Finally, South Florida, which I've already mentioned. Then the Starkville Regional. That's in Mississippi State. Mississippi State is the 7th seed, 40-15 overall, 7th in the RPI, and 16th hardest schedule. They were 3rd in the SEC, 2nd in the West Division. You want to look out for Tanner Allen, because he's on an 18-game hit streak, and someone please end it. If there's any team that could end it, it's the 4 seed in this regional, and I'll tell you why in a second. Now, VCU is coming in. You want to talk about a team that's en fuego? Oh my goodness gracious, it's like a sun right there. They're 37-14. They're 30th in the RPI. They have the 139th hardest schedule. They're the A10 South Division champs, the A10 regular season champs, and the A10 tournament champs. On April 11th, they were 16-14. And that was the last time they lost a game. Yeah, they're on a 21-game win streak. 21-game win streak. By far the hottest team coming into this tournament. By 8 games. You want to talk about the number of starts? How about Mason Delaney, or Delaney? He leads the nation with 16 starts and 17 appearances. He's got 61.2 innings of work, 61 2/3, and he's 3-0. So yeah, VCU is... And, boy... I'm pretty sure they're only on a one. Yeah, they're on a 1-game winning streak, which isn't a streak. Campbell, we've already talked about them, so yeah. Remember, Waldy Arias, if he gets hit by a pitch, it's normal. But the 4 seed in this regional is a bit interesting. It's Samford, not Stanford, Samford, and no, they're not ripping anybody off because Samford University is older by like 30, 40 years actually. It was founded in the 1830s and Stanford was founded in like the 1870s or 1880s. So, dear Stanford alumni, please shut up. And, if you don't, maybe Samford will have to shut you up for. I'm kidding, they're on opposite sides of the bracket. But Samford, 35-22, they're 54th in the RPI, 96th hardest strength of schedule. They're second in the SoCon. They were Blue Division champions. The other division is the Red Division. I'm not making any of this up. I couldn't make this up if I tried. To VCU's 18. It's a 21, not 18, bro. Are you even listening? Anyway, SoCon tournament champion Samford is on a 3-game winning streak. Now, I mentioned Samford for a reason. A few years ago, they knocked off Florida State. In the regional, they were hosting. They knocked them out of it. So, Samford's they've got a good chance. I think that they're one of those 4 seeds that, they might be getting hot at the right time. And they got the South Bend Regional. Number 10, Notre Dame. They're hosting a regional. They are 30-11. They're 11th in the RPI. They're 37th hardest schedule. They are the regular season champions of the Atlantic Coast Conference. They won the Atlantic Division. There's a problem I have with them. How the hell are they in this? How are they good? Their pitching staff isn't that great, and they have the worst hitting of any team that's doing this. Their .270 team batting average is the worst of any national seed. Their 372 hits are the worst by any Power 5 team, period. Power 5, by the way. Their 258 runs scored is the worst of any host or national seed, and their 369 team on base percentage is the worst of any national seed. It's absolutely horrendous. So Notre Dame's going to lose in the playoffs. Surely you jest. Well, maybe they will and maybe they won't. We'll have to see because UConn wants to destroy them. See, UConn's 33-17. They're 25th in the RPI. They're 66th hardest schedule. They're the Big East regular season and tournament champs. Their RPI shot up from 49 to 22 in just 1 month, and they went 15-3 in May. UConn is on a mission. Win. This is their first year back in the Big East, and they've decided it is their bitch. Speaking of teams that many would call a bitch, Michigan. Yeah, they're 27-17, and I don't get how you made it in. Let me ask. Okay, so 88th RPI, 140th overall. They played no out-of-conference games, and they were 3rd in the Big Ten. Tulane comes in 2nd in the American, and just doesn't. Okay, fine, they didn't make the championship game, but still, their RPI was 1 better. They finished 2nd in the American. What the hell is wrong with y'all? I'm not biased. And now we get on to Central Michigan, a team I've been wanting to talk about for a little bit. They're 40-16. They're 52nd in the RPI, 231st hardest schedule. The MAC regular season champions, no tournament there. They're on an 8-game win streak. Pitcher Andrew Taylor, he's 11-3. He's got 14 appearances. He's got 89 and a third innings pitched, and he's only got 12 earned runs. His 1.21 ERA is 2nd in the entire nation. Also, infielder Mario Camilletti. He's got 58 walks. He's been walked 58 times. That's the most of any guy in the country. I want to throw I don't have anything to throw at you. Anyway, Fort Worth Regional. TCU, 40-17, 6th in the tournament. 4th in the RPI, 5th hardest schedule, 2nd in the Big 12 tournament champions. They're a good team from what I've heard. I don't know if they are. I can't verify. I don't watch them. Baseball is long and boring, so I don't want to watch teams I don't care about. Speaking of teams I don't care about, Oregon State. Yeah. We already talked about them, so let's not talk about them more. Let's talk about Dallas Baptist. Now, Dallas Baptist is a little bit of a weird thing. So if you've never heard of them, that's because they're a Division II team in every sport but baseball. In baseball, they're a Division I school that plays in the Missouri Valley Conference. They are the regular season champs of the Missouri Valley Conference. They're the tournament champs of the Missouri Valley Conference. They're 37-15. They're 44th in the RPI. They had the 78th hardest schedule. They're on a 4-game win streak. Now, I can't find consistent statistics for Dominic Campbell. All I know is that he's got 12 wins and that he's on fire. Watch out for him and watch out for Dallas Baptist. Dallas Baptist, the real DBU. Thank God I got to say that. Then, finally, the 4 in the Fort Worth Regional, McNeese State. Yeah. Yes, 7th in the Southland, but they won the conference tournament. 133rd in the RPI, 178th hardest schedule. They had a 4-game winning streak. In one game, I think they won it like 17-1. They think they won one game 17-1. I'm not kidding you. 17 runs to 1. They kind of won that game handily. Yep. They also have a guy on their team named Raspberry. Not Raspberry, but Rasbeary. And he's a damn good hitter. Then we move on to the weirdest regional. The Columbia Regional, hosted by South Carolina. The number 1 seed in the regional is Old Dominion. Let me explain. So, remember how I said that some teams bid on it? Well, when the 20 were announced, Old Dominion wasn't one of them. And, Old Dominion ended up winning the conference, you see. They were 4th in the CUSA. They went 42-14. They were 8th in the RPI and 33rd in strength of schedule. They were 2nd in the East Division, but they were tournament champs. They're on a 7-game win streak. They have the nation best 101 home runs. Yeah, they hit the crap out of that ball. And I think, yeah, that's the lead by 8. Dinger, 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 dinger. They also have a really great storyline with their head coach. Something about, like, his wife having cancer or something. I don't remember. Because I don't care about storylines, I care about numbers. Now, their team batting average is pretty good. It's a .311. It's 8th in the country. It's 4th in the tournament. And then you got Andy Garriola. He leads the nation with 72 RBIs. It's a dangerous team. Speaking of dangerous, South Carolina, they're always dangerous to do weird things. They're 33-21. They're 18th in the country, so them hosting it isn't that far off. They were close to hosting a regional. 3rd. Hey, it's the greatest storyline. Doesn't mean I have to care about them. I don't care about storylines. I care about winning. It's also the second greatest storyline now that Maneri's retiring. I'll get to that. So South Carolina, 33-21, 18-3. We already mentioned those. What we didn't mention is that they were 7th in the SEC, 4th in the East, 250 team batting average is the third worst in the tournament. Yeah, that's bad. Worst of any host. Their on-base percentage is the 3rd worst in the tournament of 348. It's the worst by any host. But Wes Clark, their catcher, he's tied for the lead in home runs with 22. Then you got Virginia, 29-23, 39th in the RPI, 17th hardest schedule, 8th in the ACC, 4th in the Coastal. Then you got Andrew Abbott. He's their pitcher. He's got 136 strikeouts. That's 2nd in the nation and 1st in the tournament. The most strikeouts is 139 by a dude out of Maine, by the way. Of all places. Yeah. And then finally, Jacksonville. We already waxed poetically about the failure of Jacksonville. Then, there's Knoxville. Knoxville is the home of the University of Tennessee. And Kane, for some reason. I don't know why he's the mayor of that, but he is. Tennessee is 45-16. 5th in the RPI. 18th hardest schedule. 2nd in the SEC. They were East Division champs. They were tournament runners-up. Their team whip is 5th in the tournament with 1.15. Then, 2nd place, Duke. Duke is the ACC champs. They are 32-20. 20th in the RPI. 22nd hardest schedule. They finished 9th in the ACC, but they won the tournament. It's their first ACC title in 60 years. First in the entire history of the ACC tournament, too. They're on a 12-game win streak. Their last loss was May 8th. They're on fire. Then, you got Liberty. We've already talked about them. Wright State. Watch out for them. They're on fire. And they'll light you up. The Horizon League regular season and tournament champs are 35-11, 24th in the RPI with the 143rd hardest schedule. 13-game win streak. Best team batting average of anybody in the nation, 342. They have 488 runs scored. That's the most in the country. Their team... Where's the wrong state? Mississippi. There we go. Or Texas, whichever you prefer. Their team on base percentage, 451. That's best in the nation. By the way, Quincy Hamilton, an outfielder, he's got 75 runs scored. That's the most of any team. So watch out for Wright State. Hopefully they won't be grounded. That joke is because it's named after, like, the Wright brothers, because it's in Ohio. Okay, that joke doesn't... And finally, we're on to the Eugene Regional. We'll finally be done this stupid live stream. By the way, like I'm saying, I'm making the announcement, no live stream on Thursday because I cannot deal with this shitty internet. I cannot deal with this crappy internet. Oh my god. I'm dropping a quarter of my frames. Anyway, Oregon is hosting the Eugene Regional. They're the 14th seed. They are 37-14. This is a team that only 2 years ago was, like, they had a losing record, so pretty decent turnaround. 16th overall RPI and 49th hardest schedule. They finished 2nd in the Pac-12. Pretty good. Their utility player, Aaron Zavala. Those are the 3 places I could put that accent, so I got it right at one point. I'm going to have mispronounced it, and it's going to be an S instead of a Z. I'm going to have mispronounced it anyway, won't I? Okay. His 538 on-base percentage is 2nd in the nation, and it's best of any player in this tournament. Great. Then, you got Gonzaga. They're 33-17. They're 27th in the RPI. They're basically another 1 seed. And they're 56th hardest strength of schedule. Now, they're the West Coast Conference regular season champs, no tournament. They are coming in after losing. They won against San Diego, but then they dropped their last 2 against USD. So that's decent. They were a potential regional host too. Great. So who's the third team in this regional? Hell on earth, the Lsu Tigers Baseball team. Imagine being a fan of this team. Kill me. 34-22. They had the 28th RPI. So yes, they're matched up against Gonzaga in the first game. That game, by the way, is going to be at 9 o'clock on ESPN3, 9 o'clock Central Time on ESPN3. I'm not going live for that game because, like I said, the internet that I have here is about as reliable as, Jamarcus Russell throwing an accurate pass. There we go. That's the good joke I'll make. So LSU finished 9th in the SEC, 4th in the West Division. Now, Giovanni DiGiacomo's supposed to be back, so maybe we have a chance. Yeah. So, yeah. Maybe we have a chance? Maybe guys are getting fixed up and ready? That's not the main story. The main story is the fact that this is Paul Maneri's final ride. Palmineri, the winningest coach active in college baseball with 1,501 victories. Yeah, that's a lot of victories. Announced his retirement. He had an emotional retirement speech where basically he apologized for not winning enough, which is insane. This dude won a national title and he apologized for not winning enough. Because the dude that hired him was the greatest coach in the history of college baseball, who won 5 national titles and built a team basically from the ground up. Like, from as close to the ground up as you can possibly get without having to start a new baseball team. Skip Bertman is the most legendary coach in the history of college baseball, I would say. Maybe Augie Garado comes in second, the former Texas head coach, but still. Dude's been having neck pains the past couple years. And in his retirement speech, I think the most tragic line was, but also one of the best lines, because I loved the way his perspective was he wanted to go visit his players. He didn't want his players having, his former players, he didn't want to have his players come and visit him at his grave. Of the 133 players that had gone through the LSU baseball program and finished, 132 during Palmineri's time either graduated or made it to the pros. That didn't transfer at all. Dude was a damn good coach. Oh, did I mention he had a ton of wins? Now, he was not always head coach at LSU. Those 1,501 wins are from his time also at the Air Force Academy and at Notre Dame. He was never fired, by the way. He was always hired away. He always left with he left on great terms. Also, Skip Bertman nearly had Georgia hire the man, and Skip, really? Bro, that would not have been good for us. Come on. Anyway, so, yeah. It'd be nice to see him win it all. I mean, he wants it so bad. He still doesn't feel like he lived up to fan expectations. Which, granted, maybe if you don't throw in a guy in the 2017 College World Series final game 1 who has like 3 innings of work. Seriously, the dude was, oh god. Look, I want to say everything good about him, but for fuck's sake, this dude could not manage pitchers. This dude cannot manage pitchers. It's so bad. It's the one thing he cannot do. Just fuck. So anyway, yeah, this is gonna be fun. By the way, LSU's baseball team ain't gonna be the only one up in Eugene. That's where the NCAA tracks championships are, and so let's just say LSU gonna be traveling. We're gonna be traveling well. But the final team, the 64th final team, is Central Connecticut State. What the heck? Okay. So Central Connecticut State is 28-13, 114th in the RPI, 254th hardest schedule. They were second in the Northeast Conference, or Northeastern Conference, the NEC, but they won the tournament over Bryant. Steeler fan, you might know Bryant as that other team in Rhode Island. Steeler fan is not here. Feels bad, man. Yeah. So they're on a 3-game win streak. And that is all I have to say about them, because Central Connecticut State, well, that's why I say CCSU. Do you know the full name of Louisiana State University? God, it is annoying. The official name of Louisiana State University is Louisiana State University and Agricultural and Mechanical College. Yeah, it's long. Well, no, it's because they kept adding to it. It's actually because they kept adding to it. It just used to be like Louisiana State University, but then it became a land grant university, so it became and agricultural and mechanical. But yeah, you know, you know what? You know what's crazy though? You know what CCSU could do to make things easier? Just remove the word central and call themselves Connecticut State. Look up their logo. Look up UMass Lowell's logo. Please, I beg you, while I make my prediction. So, who do I think is going to win the NCAA tournament? It's going to be Arkansas or Vanderbilt. Seriously, like at this point, I really can't think of any other teams that are going to win it. Arkansas is stacked. What the hell do you want me to say? I've never seen a team this stacked. Seriously, like the hell are you supposed to do against them? Win? Ha! Funny. But yeah, the man with the plan will probably be in the Discord after this. That is a hint, hint. Yeah, and that's gonna do it for tonight. Like I said, no goal to go live on Thursday because internet is so shitty. I'd rather die than go live again. Am I going to predict that Arkansas wins when they have to play Nebraska? Well, it's simple. Nebraska's in the same regional as Northeastern. And the real NE is going to win. And like I said, it's either going to be Nebraska or Vanderbilt. Always? Always. Northeastern has an NCAA tournament win. So, I'd watch yourself around the always, sir. And Northeastern's always had the better hockey program. So yeah. How many football? Yeah, but they don't have a football team now. So, boom. Even Nebraska has a hockey team, just not at the NCAA level. It's at the club level. So, ha! Let's stop this right here. Well, how about this? You say always. Always might not be possible. Ooh. No, never mind. UNL is actually older. UNL was established in 1869. Northeastern wasn't established until 98. 1898. So anyway, that's out logicked. We're going to stop talking here because my god dang. This thing has been going on for far too long. This thing has been going on for far too long. The real NU is Nevada. Come on. Come on. The Nevada. And Nevada was founded in 1874. Wait. Wait a minute. You forgot. You're not even the best NU in your conference. Northwestern, which has been around since 1851. Not even the best NU in your conference, man. Oh! And how many basketball tournament wins do you have? And how many do they have? That's what I thought. And by the way, they have one tournament appearance, and they've got a win. You've had 7 chances to do it. Hell, they even have a pre-tournament Primo Porretta Championship and a pre-tournament Helms Championship for the 1931 season. Nebraska ain't got nothing on that. How many football national championships do they have? Well, let's look that up. How many can they claim? They don't claim any. But then again, they don't have any because the NCAA doesn't sponsor a football championship for them. Ooh. Anyway, I'm going to end here because, frankly, 1 hour, 45 minutes. Just because you do claim it doesn't mean you can't claim others. Oklahoma State can claim a 2011 national title, doesn't mean they do. Hell, Minnesota claimed the 1902 national title in 2002. Heck, Detroit Mercy has a national title in football. Not true. That's not true. Really? One, that was fucking terrible. Okay, Michigan gets it. Fine. So anyway, I think it's time to end the stream. Because it's been too long. Thank y'all for sitting here and listening to me ramble on about college baseball for an hour. Next week will be Goal to Go Live. We'll be talking about the actual tournament and the things that have happened because, frankly, I am not dealing with this crappy internet for an entire stream. And I know that y'all don't want to deal with that either. So I'm saving y'all from that. There will be an episode of the podcast, though. Mainly so I can talk about this in a much more refined format where other people will have posted stats on Twitter that I can steal. Anyway, yeah, that's going to do it for this. I have been Ben Schluter. This has been a special episode. And until next time.